It's just common sense.
Everything I found comes down to your ability to push through comfort. Because most people, like you said, like it's not easy. I know it's not easy to go work a full day, a hard day, and then, okay, cool, now I have a business to run.
Right.
And that's what BowTied Bull says. Can you give 3 years of like just soul crushing work? Like it is not fun. It is so not fun. I don't really like to glorify like the grind and all that. Like you have to do it, but it is soul crushing. You're going to be miserable, like just flat out. You're going to be miserable. I'm even working in fitness. I love fitness.
Mhm.
Getting all started and everything, it's miserable.
Mhm.
It's so bad. You're working, especially if you have a job, you're working 12 hours a day. And then on the weekends, your little retreat back into comfort, you don't get that anymore.
Mhm.
Nope. You don't get to recharge. No. On the weekend, you have to be going harder because those are, if you want to look at it as 16 hours awake, sleeping 8 hours, that's 32 hours. It's almost a full work day.
Yep.
That you have to yourself. No one's telling you to do anything. You don't get, oh, cool, I'll work on it an hour here, an hour there, and then be sporadic with it. Because it's like the gym. Building a business is all about consistency. And it's the same principles of the gym. Can you put an intensity in? Can you apply the proper intensity with the consistency to actually build something? And that's where it gets really, really hard because it's so easy because you don't need to do it. You already have an income and it's so much easier to be like, I'm good today. I don't really need to work. I worked hard at work. Things are going well. Yeah, I'm going to drink a little bit tonight. I'm going to have a bottle of wine and watch Netflix. Like, yeah, you can. But then when rough times come, you have to look back at yourself and be like, did I do everything I could have done to avoid this?
Mhm.
And a lot of people can't come to the realization that like, okay, maybe I'm my own worst enemy here. Maybe I'm the one that didn't allow me. Why didn't those regrets? Why didn't I start the business? Why didn't I work as hard? Why wasn't it successful? And most of the time, you're going to look back and be like, oh, it was me. It was me. I chose comfort. And everything I found is in life comes down to how much discomfort can you take?
Mm.
And the best, they can take a lot. They can just live in it.
When you get to a certain point in your routine where like there's 2 or 3 hours a day baked in where you're doing this instead of Netflix, it's a switch in your head that cannot be unflipped. Like I can't sit here and watch The Real Housewives for 2 hours like I used to. It would bother me now. I'm like, this is not the best use of my time. I can watch a really good movie, but I can't watch my friends play FIFA for 3 hours on a Friday night. Like I do not want to do that with my free time.
If I took like September to early October off. I had everything pretty much automated. I had already written my post and all that. And I was like, yeah, it's been over a year of like nonstop, like 12-hour days. I got depressed, actually depressed. I would just like sit there, like walk around the city, find new things to do, everything and all that. And like, I would say probably a weekend, I was like, I forced myself to take this time off because that's important too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine like choosing to do something instead of the gym. I already know if I take even if I deload and I take a week or two off the gym, towards the end of that, I'm like, okay, my body's starting to hurt. Like I'm getting aches and pains, which you'd think would be the opposite. It's like, oh, I'm starting to get weird aches and pains. Like my back's starting to hurt. My mood, I don't have energy. Like what's going on? And then you go back to the gym and instantly it's like, okay, oh, I feel good again. You really don't realize when you're dialed in how good you feel. You really don't know. You take it for granted. You're like, you notice it when you start lifting. You're like, oh, cool. Like I feel good. And then you get used to it. You reach homeostasis and you don't realize it until you stop. And it's the same thing with business. Like it's fun and exciting at first and you're so fulfilled. Then you get used to it. Then you take, a little bit time off of it and you're like, because I have a really weird like philosophical belief on the world. It's that like you're gonna suffer no matter what. Like life is just kind of hard. It's stressful. Like the human brain hasn't adapted to modern life, and like this idea that we need to be working all the time and accomplishing and all that. and we're not used to like modern technology and all that. So it's really easy just to get stressed out. Like, like emails, things like stupid things like emails, like doing a certain writing, for God's sakes, for me, whatever. It's like, oh, this is stressful. And it's like, if you really deductively break it down, you're like, this is not hard. Like you're doing something you like, it's easy, but it still stresses you out, right? So it's like, and then also, like you said, if you're just going to sit there around and watch Netflix and all that, but you know you should be working on something, that's also stressful. You can't avoid it. You just like, it's existence. You can only like numb existence and numb things and escape them so much. And it's almost like you put more effort into escaping, and it's even more stressful than actually just doing whatever you need to do. And so like I've kind of in my own life philosophy, like just kind of figured out that it's like everything is going, and I don't have a pessimist, I'm the most happy person to meet, but everything's gonna suck. Life is it's struggle. Life is a struggle. So why not make your struggle worthwhile versus working so hard to avoid that struggle that you're just bringing on more pain in the first place?
Totally. And I think I will find something to worry about, something to fixate on, something to stress about. And the only things that cure my stress are exercising and accomplishment, knocking things off the list, producing something, the only way to relax.
That's like the real dopamine too. Like, sure, like video games, they give a little bit of a dopamine. I hate to use the word hit because that's not how it works in the brain, but that's the easiest way for people to understand it. Is like, yeah, video games are going to give you a dopamine hit. Watching Netflix is going to give you a little dopamine hit. Doing things, drinking is literally going to flood your brain with neurotransmitters and things like that. They feel good. But nothing compares to having like a huge day in business, closing a huge deal. For me, like writing a really nice post that I know is good, I release it and I'm like, yep, this is good. And then immediately feedback's like, yep, this was good. Like nothing compares to that. Cause that's like, that's actually the way your dopamine network in your brain's supposed to work, is that you grind out struggle on something, release it, and then it's good. And you get feedback that it's good and all that. And then that floods you with dopamine. And you're like, wow, you can't even compare that to sitting there and play a video game. Like, except for winning a game in Call of Duty Warzone. That's a dopamine hit right there. But like the creation, going to the gym, being productive, getting ahead, being better than you were yesterday, that ends up becoming a drug. I love that drug. That's my favorite drug on earth.
I don't know if Jordan Peterson is canceled or not. I'm not up with it, but something he would say when asked, what is the crisis that men are facing today? Why do men feel so purposeless? And women too, but mainly men. And his recommendation to them was go find the heaviest load you can and lift it. Add responsibility to your life. That's how you get out of this depressive rut, because human beings, we're tinkerers, we're problem solvers. And when you have no problems to solve all day long, you're just surrounded by comfort, as you were saying, no wonder you're depressed. You're not filling that part of yourself that you were designed to do.
See, most people think that they'll win the lottery or whatever, because most people think that's how they're going to get rich.
Right.
It's kind of sad to think about. Most normies think the way they're going to get rich is the lottery. And then their idealistic life when they win the lottery is nothing. It's doing nothing. Like, you'll end up depressed, really, really, really depressed, because you soon learn. I don't like flex financials or whatever. That's not my point here. But like, I make enough money that I never have to even I don't think about money. Like, money's not. I want to make more of it because there's more freedom I want to have in life. But like, I never have to worry about it. Pretty much ever again. And it's very easy to be like that same kind of, hey, things are going good, I can take a day off, I can chill. But then again, you just find that, oh, wow, this is not as fulfilling. It's because there's no end destination anywhere. There's no just final end state where you get to chill and you're like, okay, cool, life is all good and I have no worries. And they'll creep. You'll just feel depressed. And I personally know that I went through, when I was a teenager, terrible anxiety, panic attacks and all that. And a lot of it was like unhealthy lifestyle. I was typical teenager, smoking pot all day, you know, drinking all the time, whatever, just because I'm rebelling against everything I wasn't allowed to do. And just this terrible part of life. And a lot of it was, you know, fixing, you know, my actual physiology in the gym. But then another thing was I actually started like making moves to get ahead in life.
Yeah.
And I think a large underlying part of that anxiety was deep subconscious worry and knowing that I'm not doing what I need to do. Knowing that, hey, like you're a loser. Like you're literally being a loser right now. Like I would like, especially if you're a person that knows you have a lot of potential, like waste knowing, even whether you're aware of it or not, your subconscious is aware of it, but it's aware of everything. Knowing like, wow, I'm wasting away my entire life and I'm not doing what I need to do. That's a really good way to end up anxious and depressed.
Mm.
So